Precisely at 9:27 a.m. on February 28, 2026, the pulse of the Middle East stopped. This was no ordinary day. It was the day Washington and Tel Aviv chose to break the historic rules of engagement. Under the codename Operation Epic Fury, the largest coordinated air and missile strike in decades was launched. Over 30 sovereign targets deep within the Islamic Republic of Iran were struck simultaneously. From the vital Asaluya energy facilities to the heart of Tehran, the ground shook beneath everyone's feet. As thick black smoke billowed from the Bushehr and Qam reactors, the world believed Iran's military might had been paralyzed by this preemptive strike. But the silence did not last long. From beneath the city rubble and deep within the mountains, a promise was waiting to be kept. This massive explosion did not come from a vacuum. It was the result of months of total diplomatic failure. Just 48 hours before the attack, the U.S. delegation led by Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner left the negotiation halls in Geneva, declaring the end of the political path. Washington, monitoring via SpaceX satellites and advanced spy systems, saw a terrifying acceleration in the construction of fortified facilities and the development of Khorramshahr 4 missiles. They decided the time of dialogue was over. The U.S. mobilized its largest naval strike force since the Iraq War, led by the supercarrier Gerald Ford and 50 F-35 stealth fighters. The goal was clear: destroy Iran's nuclear and missile capability in a single surgical strike. However, amidst the heavy bombardment, a tragedy occurred. Missiles struck near a girls' school in the city of Minab, killing over 50 students. This bloodshed transformed the confrontation from a political conflict into a sacred existential war. While American radars thought they had secured the skies, the Iranian mountains began to speak. From missile cities carved deep into granite, impenetrable even by the strongest bunker-buster bombs, automated hydraulic launch platforms began to move. Exclusive and stunning footage showed giant ballistic missiles emerging from secret fissures in the earth, a scene reflecting the pinnacle of defensive military engineering. This was not a random reaction. It was a calculated strategic move targeting U.S. bases in neighboring countries with extreme precision. In Bahrain, the U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters shook. In Qatar and Kuwait, sirens wailed at Al Udeid and Ali Al Salam air bases as runways turned into fields of flame, announcing the failure of the theory of absolute technological superiority. At this pivotal moment, supreme orders were issued from the Joint Operations Room. The Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps officially announced the start of Operation True Promise 4. In a chilling scene, hundreds of ballistic and cruise missiles were launched simultaneously, covering the skies of the Gulf and the Arabian Sea. In a major development, modern stealth catamaran ships activated their vertical launch systems. The missiles rose vertically, maneuvering at sharp angles to bypass Aegis and THAD defense systems. Iranian command centers equipped with the latest digital screens and networked systems managed the battle with surgical precision. Cameras mounted on the missile warheads broadcast moments of terror to the world as they re-entered the atmosphere, diving towards strategic targets deep within U.S. bases and vital centers in Israel. Under the cover of the True Promise 4 missiles, Iran utilized saturation attack tactics via swarms of suicide drones. From ordinary commercial containers and mobile trucks roaming the highways, hundreds of swarm intelligence drones took flight. These drones, seen in the footage maneuvering with high flexibility, successfully distracted Patriot radars and exhausted the U.S. stockpile of interceptor missiles. This digital aerial ambush opened wide gaps in the sky, allowing larger ballistic missiles to pass through and reach their sovereign targets with surgical accuracy. These were not just drones. They were encrypted messages declaring that the era of American air superiority had ended, and that the battle was now being led by innovative minds in unconventional technologies. As the intercontinental Khorramshahr 4 intercontinental missiles stood on their platforms as a final clear deterrent, the world faced another type of earthquake. Global financial markets entered a state of total chaos. Brent crude oil prices jumped to insane levels never seen in history, with Iran's actual threat to close the Strait of Hormuz, the lifeblood of the global economy. Internationally, Russia described the attack as a blatant aggression and warned of a radioactive disaster that could contaminate Gulf waters due to the targeting of reactors. China demanded an immediate ceasefire to protect supply chains. Operation True Promise 4 proved that any attack on Iran would come at a heavy price, and the strategy of distributed fire had placed the entire region on a volcano. The events of February 28, 2026 were not just a round of fighting, they were the official announcement of the end of the era of absolute hegemony and the beginning of a new era of the balance of terror. Did True Promise 4 succeed in breaking American prestige forever, or are we at the beginning of a great war of attrition that will redraw the map of power in the world? The answer lies within the fortified tunnels and in the command rooms that still watch the skies. Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe the balance of power has changed forever after this day? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for part 2 of this comprehensive military coverage. Until next time, on the battlefield.